Hello, this is Dr. Doe again. This video is outside of medicine, continuing the book The Iliad by Homer. I'm going to continue to read. Here, young boys and girls, beauties counted with costly gifts of oxen, danced and danced, linking their arms, gripping each other's wrists, and the girls wore robes of linen light and flowing. The boys wore fine spun tunics rubbed with a gloss of oil. The girls were crowned with the bloom of fresh garlands. The boys swung gold daggers high on silver belts. And now they would run in rings on their skilled feet, nimbly, quick as a approaching potter spin his wheel, palming it smoothly, giving it practice swirls to see it run. And now they would run in rows, crisscrossing rows, rapturous dancing. A breathless crowd stood round them, stuck with joy, and through them a pair of tumblers dashed and sprang, whirling in leaping handsprings, leading on the dance. And he forged the ocean river's mighty power, girdling round the utmost rim of welded, indestructible shield. And once the god had made the great and massive shield, he made Achilles a breastplate, brighter than gleaming fire. He made him a sturdy helmet to fit the fighter's temples, beautiful burnished work, and raised its golden crest, and made him greaves of flaxen, pliant tin. Now, when the famous crippled smith had finished off that grand array of armor, lifting it in his arms, he laid it all at the feet of Achilles' mother Thetis, and down she flashed like a hawk from snowy Mount Olympus, bearing the brilliant gear and the god of fire's gift. Book 19. The Champion Arms for Battle. As dawn rose up in her golden robe from ocean tides, bringing light to immortal gods and mortal man, Thetis sped Hephaestus' gifts to the ships. She found her beloved son lying face down, embracing Patroclus' body, sobbing, wailing, and round him crowded troops of mourning comrades. And the glistering goddess moved among them now, seized Achilles' hand and urged him, spoke his name, "My child, leave your friend to lie there dead. We must, though it breaks our hearts. The will of the gods have crushed him once for all. But here, Achilles, accept this glorious armor. Look, a gift from the god of fire, burnished bright, finer than any mortal has ever borne across his back." Urging, the goddess laid the armor down at Achilles' feet, and the gear clashed out in its all-blessed glory. A tremor ran through all the mile-maiden ranks. None dared to look straight at the glare. Each fighter shrunk away. Not Achilles. The more he gazed, the deeper his anger went, his eyes flashing under his eyelids, fierce as fire, exulting, holding the god's shining gifts in his hands. And once he'd thrilled his heart with looking hard at the armor's well-wrought beauty, he turned to his mother, winged words flying. "Mother, armor sent by the god, you're right. Only immortal gods could forge such work. No man on earth could ever bring it off. Now, by heaven, I'll arm and go to war, but all the while my blood runs cold with fear. Menoetius' fighting son, the Carian, blowflies will settle into his wounds, gorged deep by the bronze. Worms will breed and seethe, defile the man's corpse. His life's ripped out, his flesh may rot to nothing." But glistening-footed Thetis reassured him, "Oh, my child, wipe these worries from your mind. I will find a way to protect him from those swarms, the vicious flies that devour men who fall in battle. He could lie there dead till a year have run his course, and his flesh still stand firm, even fresher than now. So go and call the Argive warriors to the muster. Renounce your rage at the proud commander Agamemnon, then arm for battle quickly, down your fighting power." With that, she breathed in her son tremendous courage, then instilled in Patroclus' nostril fresh ambrosia, blood-red nectar too, to make his flesh stand firm. But brilliant Achilles strode along the surf, crying his piercing cry, and roused Achilles' warriors. Even those who'd kept to the breached ship still now. The helmsman who handled the heavy steering oars, and the steward left on board to deal out rations. Even then trooped to the master. Great Achilles, who held back from the brutal fighting so long, had just come blazing forth. And along came two aides of Ares, limping in, the battle-hard Tydides, flanked by good Odysseus, leaning on their spears, till bearing painful wounds, and slowly found their seats in the front ranks. And the lord of men, Agamemnon, came in last of all, weighed down by the wound he took in the rough charge. When Coon, son of Antenor, slashed his arm with bronze, and now as all the Achaeans' armies massed together, the swift-run Achilles rose among them, asking Agamemnon, was it better for both of us, after all, for you and me to rage at each other, racked by anguish, consumed by heart-sick strife, or for a young girl? If only Artemis had cut her down at the ships with one quick shaft, that day I destroyed Leniscus, chose her as my prize, how many fewer friends had gnawed the dust of the wide world, brought down by enemy hands while I raged on and on. Better? Yes, for Hector and Hector's children, not for the Argives. For years to come, I think they will remember the feud that flared between us both. Enough. Let bygones be bygones. Done is done. Despite my anguish, I will beat it down. The fury mounting inside me, down by force. Now, by God, I call a halt to all my anger. It's wrong to keep on raging, heart inflamed forever. Quickly drive out long-haired Achaeans to battle now, so I can go at the children once again and test their strength, and see if they still long to camp the night at the ships. They will gladly sink to the knee and rest at home. I'd say, whoever comes through alive from the heat of combat, out from under my spear. Welcome, rosing words, and Achaeans at arms rolled out with joy to hear the greatest-hearted Achilles swearing off his rage. Now it was King Agamemnon's turn to address them. He rose from his seat, not moving forward the center. The Lord of Men spoke out from where he stood. My friends, fighting Danaans, aid of Ares, when a man stand up to speak, it is well to listen, not to interrupt him. The only courteous thing, even the finest speaker find intrusions hard. Yet how can a person hear us or say a word? This howling din could drown the clearest voice, but I will declare my inmost feeling to Achilles. I'm going to stop here today and continue next time. Thank you for watching.